Good morning. I am Tessa-Marie and welcome to the Morning Blessings. That thing, and I actually made a mistake in spelling it. I missed my N, but it's not, it just went away. Hey Stacy, thank you for coming. That thing, part 2. Hi Lisa, how are you? Somehow my finger and the N did not connect in thing. I tell you, I love being old. It's so much fun. I have an excuse, the finger and hi Peter, good morning. Welcome from Malaysia. How are you feeling this morning? Wonderful, Peter. Today, if anybody has time and you know anyone, I'm going to do it. Ask them to come to the Morning Blessings. You guys know what happened. You have no idea what happened yesterday. After the Morning Blessing, I you have to, when it went on YouTube and other comments, I just got one from Nancy. I don't know if I can show it, but I'm going to see what I can do. What is this? Who is that? I don't know what is going on here. Hi, Nancy. Okay, Nancy is here. Do you really want to come on the live? I don't think you do, but I know maybe you just, it does that. I'm sending this out to everybody I know. The reason why I believe everybody I know should have a hand in this. Everybody I know who is alive today should see this, should stand up and be there for that life because it is important. I'll tell you why. If you don't know, one of the things that we have is to be able, hi Kimberly, hi Nancy, hi Colin, good morning everybody. So so here you go. Yesterday I talked about that thing. That thing we all want to do and we put it back. Good morning, Ellen. Thank you for coming. I just wanted you guys to understand that yesterday, that thing we did and we sent it out and I did that and I posted it. Well, it brought up a lot of emotions in people. Good morning, sister. Good morning, Yuko. How are you guys feeling this today? So if you can hang on, hang on. I wish I could express to you guys in maybe, well, I keep saying, hi, Christine. Thank you for coming, Christina. This is important. The thing is, that thing. I love the engagement. Thank you, Ellen. I want you guys to engage. This is a special show. This is a special thing. Morning Blessing is not just about in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. It's more than that. It's something that it gives you to enable you to move a little closer to where you desire to go. And when you get there, to feel good about where you're going to go. So yesterday, after the Morning Blessings came on, and I posted it, I got this. I have to read it to you guys. Those of you who are here to hear it, it's amazing that you have that opportunity. So I don't know this young man. He did it on YouTube. He said, Miss Tessa, I'm always so in love with your conversations. They're the perfect pick-me-ups. This conversation specifically was really awesome because as someone who desires to be a parent one day, I will be sure to teach my daughter about independence. But as a man, a brother, and a friend to other men, I want to offer that a lot of men feel this exact way as well. It shows up differently, but it's rooted in the same language. Boys are taught that men lead, and those boys grow up to be men that get so addicted to leading that they never take the time for themselves. I think about my dad, who has gone to be with the Lord recently. He didn't really started traveling and taking vacations until he was older, and even then it was hard for him to sit down. So, where did I stop? It was hard for him to sit down. I just wanted to offer this. Thank you for the space you hold for us all. So that was number one. And that was from somebody named Curtis. My response was, wow, I have no idea where to begin. For starters, your first name is shared by one of my brothers, which is true. It's an unusual name. when we did that yesterday, I forgot the other half of the human equation. You are a boy. You're not supposed to cry. You have to push. You must do this. Boys don't cry. Boys behave like that. Micah was 7, and the grocery cart was bigger than him. And we are going to get the grocery cart. He runs ahead. He says, "Grammy, this is a man's job." And he took the cart, and he could hardly control it because he was a little piece of thing. But I remember that. And again, I remember a lot of experiences I had with Micah, Kathleen's children, my other friends' grandchildren, and Kylie. But the thing that really tugged at me was my friend Nancy. She lived next door for 23 years. We spent time in India together. But when Nancy first moved to the neighborhood, she saw me cutting the grass. And she said to me, "Why are you doing this? This is man's work." I didn't have an answer, because if I was waiting for the man I was married to do it, the grass would be taller than the house. Brian had no interest in being outside, except to go smoke. He preferred to cook food and prepare and clean the kitchen, do anything but be in the sun. He was a redhead, you see. So he didn't like the sun, and the sun didn't like him. So anyway, I'm putting out the garbage, same comment. But then I remember her husband. He is a wordsmith, somebody that writes jingles for everything and everything. He works from home. If you saw him pushing the lawnmower, you would wonder if he's okay. He didn't bend to pull a weed. So what I'm aiming at, there is no such thing as men's job. So men suffer the same thing like that young man shared in his thing. They suffer the same thing that we women go through. They cannot be themselves. No, you cannot be an artist. You'll be gay. You cannot do this. If you want to sew, well, what are you, gay? You want to design? What are you, gay? You want to do this? Go. Somebody told their nephew that wants to be a fashion designer in New York, "Why don't you become an electrician?" Why do you think that fool said that? Because he thinks he's gay. You see, we have to understand that we must, if we are, let us be the kind of women and men we're supposed to be. Because I'm a girl, that doesn't mean I have to be subservient. Because I am a girl, that doesn't mean I have to be demure. Because I am a boy, that doesn't mean I have to be a macho man. They really would macho men over there. If I am a boy, that doesn't mean I am the one to climb the tree. Ask Dawn about that. Dawn drove the truck loaded with banana coming down from the estate, going to the dock several times. And Dawn maybe drove many times with no brakes, because she's just that kind of woman. So you see, I come from a household, it has to be done. Somebody better jump up and do it. You do not have to be a girl for you to cook. But you do not have to be a boy to only drive the truck. You did not have to know how to wire a truck to get it going so your dad didn't hear you. Because you had to do it, because your brother couldn't do it as good as you. And that was me. Hot wire the truck so we could take it, and Dad didn't know the truck was living in the yard. So anyway, that really triggered a lot. Nancy said something to us. Nancy comes here. Nancy is here today. And oh, by the way, guys, this is really going away, but let's rest for a moment. I sent a note to Nancy because I hadn't seen her, but I'd also sent a note to Lynn Gowan, who used to come. And Nancy responded and told me that Lynn had a massive stroke, and she's in ICU. So she's not able to come. So those of you who can, breathe a prayer for her. and her family, because she was and is a member of our family. So we have to always share. So I just wanted to touch on that. I thought I got what Lynn said, but I have to move this thing to get it. It's not coming up on here. Then Kathleen sent me this yesterday. I will see if I can play it. I never can do anything right when I'm choosing to do these things on Instagram and all these things, but I'm hoping to be able to do it so it works. But one of the things that we had was knowing that we have things we need to do for ourselves, and we forget to treat ourselves to doing it, because we have to do so much for so many. And in doing so much for so many, we miss the joy of our own life. And then the stories are told, because Nancy said something this morning in her note to me. Nancy said that, how did she put it? I can't find it, Nancy. I don't know what you sent it. But what I am saying is that we jump into life and we forget that because we are a girl, that doesn't mean that that's what we have to be all the time.
People's emotions that they don't know how to manage on their own. And as a result, you become completely disconnected from what you want and what you like, so you can be completely attuned to what they want and what they like, so that they can be happy, you can keep the peace, all as a means for you to feel safe.
Did you guys hear that? That's what Kathleen said. She said,
so it turns out being a good girl really just means learning to neglect yourself from an early age so that you can manage other people's emotions that they don't know how to manage on their own. And as a result, you become completely disconnected from what you want and what you like, so you can be completely attuned to what they want and what they like, so that they can be happy, you can keep the peace, all as a means for you to feel safe.
Do you want that? That's what this young lady said.
So it turns out
I don't think I want that. That is what she said. She doesn't want that. So when they tell us, so you see, I don't know why those thoughts come to my mind. I have no idea why I decide I'm sitting and what are you going to talk about is not a question. So what should I talk about is not a question I am supposed to ask. It just comes. So whatever you believe, for me, it is downloading. And maybe it's because I believe what I heard that day in 1997 at St. Michael's Cathedral in Toronto. Shut up and sit down. We want to talk to you. Because you go to church, you kneel down and you start to pray. So I shut up, I sat down. I didn't kneel down. I got out a pad I had and a pen, and I wrote what I heard. Just open your mouth and we will tell you what to say. I had no idea. That was in 97. That wasn't what I was thinking about. I had no idea I'd be here. So that is why I believe what I have to say, there's somebody out there who needs to get it. And it was really important for Curtis, that young man, to tell me and to remind men and the men in your lives that, hey, you need to have some time for the things you love to do. And if you are fortunate enough to have a spouse, allow them to do what they have to do. I remember when I went to my family doctor, and he was concerned because Brian was on his last few days, and he said, are you allowing him to have what he desires? He said, I work at the Army Hospital when I first came to Canada as a doctor up north. And he said, it was important to mix people that are dying because of they're sick from different type of diseases they got through the war, that they have what they like. Make sure you allow him to have that. It was a good thing I did not interfere. I always said smoking was his first wife, and he having a scotch was his sweetheart. And I didn't keep it away from him. But if you have somebody in your life who loves to do something, and they're doing it, man or woman, give them the space to do this. Because Nancy said something, that is what makes your heart sing. This young lady told us, you have to be, like Kathleen said last Tuesday night at the seminar, you have to be a good girl. You have to show up for everybody. Good girls, don't do that. But yet somebody who knew me better than I knew myself at the time gave me a plaque. And he said on it, well-behaved women do not make history. I didn't know I was one of those. I wasn't a well-behaved woman. No, I'm not. But I always go for what brings me joy. And I ask you to find that thing. Nancy, I cannot get this on this thing, which is silly. It's so well done, Nancy. But it didn't show up, although I took a photo of it, so I have to wait until I can find it. But I'm going to just go there and break this for a minute and see if I can read it. I won't lose you guys. She said, she wasn't there yesterday, but she was glad she went in and read and listened to the message from yesterday's morning blessing. She said she was happy she did, because she has a passion. She enjoys sewing, but she has given it away because she has to help others. It's not that she said it that way, but I'm interpreting it that way. She has this passion. She loves to create, but sewing is her passion. But because she got so involved in being there for others, she has not given herself the joy of enjoying that special and unique gift that is actually very scarce these days. You don't have people that can sew or design by just looking at a dress or turning a dress inside out and copying it. I can do that. I can sketch it, and I can draw it, and I can cut it, and I can design it, and I can make it. So much so, I remember designing a wedding dress for someone, and I was so engrossed in the act of this. And my son knew when to get me to answer and say yes. He comes to me and he says, Mom, if I have a 90% or something like that, can I get my ears pierced? Without lifting my head, all I heard was 90%. I said yes. The bugger knew he already had his 90% in his pocket. And he knew if I was alert in the present world with him, I might have said no. So of course, Brian was very upset with me for telling him he could have diamond earrings, which he did. And when it was time for him to drop it, he dropped it. But that is when you are involved in what it is you love. It is so into you that you do not think. And that's why you must make space for yourself in this world that we live in. This Curtis young man said his father, by the time he started to travel, which he wanted to do, he couldn't do it well. And that is what happens to us. We forget that what we must do, we have to give time to it. And I told you guys about me and my writing. When I write, I see stars. When I sit and I'm writing a story, I see stars. And because of that, I might just read the latest one I wrote on Monday. And it's because I did see stars that day. And it was really, really amazing. It's not edited, so I'll just tell you what happened to it. So, sitting on the front porch, it's a wonderful fall afternoon. Sun is shining, making the beginning of the lazy fall days, marking the beginning of the lazy fall days. The song of the chimes on the porch is enchanting, and the wind is breezy through the trees and shrubs. It would be great if this could be bottled or captured in a song to listen whenever you want to. The wind song and the chimes would be amazing in that feeling. If you could describe it in words, what would you say? The feeling can only be captured in words, and the right words to match the feelings are deeper. It requires more than words, and the words must have the feelings. Is that possible? Hidden from the view of passing neighbors by the enormous rose bush, I'm in awe of its unique beauty. It has taken over the entire front lawn, pushing the lovely Japanese maple aside. The rose bush reigns as the belle of the front garden, casting a majestic shadow on everything else. Fall, or autumn as you prefer, is a season of tranquility and calm. Despite its unpredictable weather, one day it might be raining and it could be for many days, but then there are those days of weather that are indescribably peaceful. Today is one of those serene days. It is so beautiful and intoxicating that the day could be a drink. One would be drunk from feasting on the nectar of today. For me, it is the best of days. It is the day to have a really sweet and amazing coffee with rich cream in a cup, a splendid cup. When held in the hand, the warmth and the fragrance of the well-roasted coffee bean should make taking a sip a form of passion. Caressing the roasted hazel coffee is like having a long, passionate kiss from a new lover for the first time. This afternoon requires conscious action, and no action should be taken if one is not in the moment. This moment should be noted in words fostered in memory, so that when the thought drops back in memory, a smile, a secret smile, washes over the face, and the eyes of the storyteller lights up. One who is intent in listening and observing should feel the passion of a moment so very long ago. These autumn days are not regular days, and this is why it is imperative that one lives in the moment and is prepared to absorb each passing moment and make the best use of it. The moment on this particular day reminds me of that other point that I have come to make. It is a sport. To tell you of this wonderful afternoon is like a dream come true, because you see, storytelling is a passion of mine. The roses are blooming with no awareness that they will soon shed their leaves and face the cold days of winter. They do not seem to be bothered by what is coming. That is why nature is so magical. Nature is only interested in the present moment. To my left, the rose bush at the end of the garden below the front porch is so determined to keep blooming that it has pushed through the openings on the porch railings. Blooms are hanging so close to you that caution is required unless one wants to feel the sting of the rose thorns. My 5-year-old granddaughter Kylie calls this particular shade of pink extreme bubblegum pink. I think I will have to ask her if she did use extreme. I did ask, and she said yes. The afternoon holds so much beauty and joy that it is difficult to stop writing. It has that particular feeling that it is not like an ice cream cone. It is not like only one ice cream cone, but it's like this ice cream cone that you would get from an old-fashioned ice cream parlor. Yes, that flavor. What is it? Vanilla cream. Yes, this is what the afternoon of this last day of September feels like. An afternoon with a lovely vanilla cream ice cream cone on a hot fall day. Anyway, that is it. That is not really it, but that is what happened. So guess what? I read that purposely because I love writing. Not because I wanted you to read what I write. I just write because I haven't got a choice. My soul dances. My mind goes crazy. I see fairies and I hear bells. But one thing I want to tell you, the only reason why I do this, it's because I set time for it. My writing time is so important, although this is written in less than 15 minutes, because my mind goes faster than my fingers, and my mind goes faster than my tongue sometimes. I can't control it. I set 3 p.m. every afternoon for writing. Angelina, when do you practice your piano and your singing? It's the joy that we have as women. We are not good girls. And we do not have to serve the world. And if we do have to make room to carve time for ourselves, we need to set a time for it. So 3 p.m. is my time to write, to do that thing that makes me feel passionate, that makes me feel like I am in ecstasy. That's what you have to do. What is it? Curtis, the young man that sent the comment on YouTube when I posted yesterday's morning blessing, talking about that thing. Because Kathleen said she was raised to be a good girl. He said his father was, he was so good. I cannot, I need to learn this by heart because it was just so important to be able to hear what he had to say about this, because it meant more to many than it did to others. That, you know, some people would look at it and they would say no. So I need to tell you, for those of you that are new, to hear this. He said, never mind, he's in love with my conversation. They are perfect pick-me-ups for him. But he said this conversation specifically was really awesome because as someone who desires to be a parent one day, I will be sure to teach my daughter about independence. But as a man, a brother, and a friend to other men, I want to offer that a lot of men feel this exact way as well. It shows up differently. But it's rooted in the same language. Boys are taught that men lead, and those boys grow up to be the men that get so addicted to leading that they never take time for themselves. I think about my dad, who has gone to be with the Lord recently. He didn't start traveling and taking vacations until he was, you know, he was too old to actually enjoy his vacation. That is what the young man said. And when he said that, that reminded me that men also give up their passion for other people. And then this young lady sent me this thing about this young lady saying, yeah, you have to be good girl in quotation marks. So you are the good girl in quotation mark to allow others to live their life. And it's okay because you are giving up, and that's what good girls do. But we know now, boys don't cry. We always knew that, but why didn't I think of it? Because Kathleen had said I was taught to be a good girl. And I could see the pain in her. And that is why I did it. But look at what it led to. You know, thank you, Nancy. So my passion is writing, so I allot 3 p.m. every day to write. And if you are with me and I'm ever quiet and I'm by myself or you observe me, my mind is on point. It is working. It never stops. I used to have to say to my brain, shut up, I want to go to sleep. So now I have control that I can go to sleep. But what I'm asking Nancy to do is to get the machine out and write and sew and make a scarf. Do something. Be creative. Stick. Get double-sided interfacing. And get a one piece of fabric. And then get a bold piece of fabric. Cut out that square, that flower. And interface it to the scarf. Put it at the end. So when you fold the scarf around you, the end just drips. And you can have that. Create it for somebody who you know would love it. Create it just because it's burning. Do not end life. What would Lynn would say if she could change what has happened? What would she say to us? To do something. So we put your time, make time. And guys, that was 15 minutes of me writing. It's easier because it just comes out, but it's a lot of years of practicing. Set a time for you to do this, even if it's once a week. What I know for sure, I must write every day. So I choose to do it at 3 p.m. What do you know for sure that you must do? Choose a day to do it. Being a slave to your household, if you are the person that just loves to clean, then clean. If that's all you want to do. But if you flipping sure want to dance, then loosen up and dance. Let it go and dance. And if when you dance your shoe bothers you, just do like I do, kick the ass off. And the whole world gets disturbed. But guess what? My feet do not hurt because I kicked the shoe off. Everybody got over it and I don't care. Because in the wind that I go through, you have to remember one thing, she kicked her shoe off. And that is what matters, that you remember. Instead of saying, wow, you could see she was suffering in that shoe. Do you really prefer that? So you must remember, it's your fragrance that matters, the one that you have left in the wind. And they can say, wow, Kimberly, Nancy, Melissa, Loretta, Colleen, all these women were here. I know they were here. Stacy was here. I can feel the energy from her long after she's been gone. So make sure you prepare to live that by doing the things you love the most. Somebody might look at what I write and criticize it, and this woman does not care. She never was taught to care of the opinions of others. I wrote about that also. And that is something that is ingrained in me. I do not care. My care is no. I had cares. I had 3 cares. They're adults now. I can listen, I can support, and I can smile. I can no longer give advice. I lost that at 18. You're on your own. So guess who you care about? You. You worry about them. You're concerned. You want to make sure, here comes one of them, number 1 just showed up. You're worried about them. You're concerned about them. But at the end of the dance, the only person that matters is you. So if you cannot carve time to do that thing that when you do it, you feel it, your body is moving and dancing, then do it. Because this is one of the things you have to do. Stop being a good girl and a good boy. Boys are allowed to love and cry and to kiss their mom and to touch their mom's hand. And girls, you can hammer a nail in a wall if that's what you feel that's good for you. But you do not have to hide who you are, because somebody else has no confidence in making themselves who they are. We have to do what we're supposed, what we feel to do, what makes us dance, what we hear. That is what it is. Nancy has to get back to sewing, and then Angelina needs to touch her machine, her piano. And this one, and you have to create, because it is your feeling, it's you. When you do that thing, and you can walk away, whether it is done, it is half done, halfway done, and you can walk away, and you're going, I did it. Holy shit, I did it. Maybe it wasn't the whole thing, but you did it. That should be enough. Because if we balance the other choice of not doing what you love because you were so busy taking care of people who don't give a shit about themselves, unless you. Remember one thing though. If the person is not making an effort to be there for themselves and you are tripping over yourself to be there for them, they don't care. They just accept it as you must do. So remember, you matter, you count, you have value. You do not have to serve the world while the world is so busy ignoring themselves. We all came in this world to be who we were supposed to be. We created to be splendid. And less than splendid in how you feel is wrong, because you love it. The choice though of exiting this lifetime is the point where the door opens. And when that door opens and you look at that room full of white boxes wrapped in bridal white paper and big royal blue ribbons, and you're told as you're dying, do not go in there. But you have thrown caution to the wind because you believe you're dying. Hello, Rita. So you walk into the room and you notice that these boxes all have your name on it. And you're confused. Don't be confused, because these are all the things your heart sound to do, desired, it felt good, that you ignored. It's too late. And that's why regret is a bitch. It's too late. You can, hi Kathleen, you just woke up. You couldn't join, you couldn't go in there now and pull these ribbons open and see what is in the box that you had 50, 60, 100 years of life to open, and you chose not to open because you were so busy being a good girl, being a strong boys don't cry, and being that kind of person that no. You realize, you mean I could have been a dancer in the ballet if I'm a man? And the woman, and I so loved, when I smelled sawdust, I loved it. Why wait until the last moment before you die? With all your choices and all the things that made your heart sing, passing around you and saying you die and you're killing me as you're dying. Choices. So we have to love others. We must do things for them. We need to, but there is a time you have to do like I do. Carve time out for yourself. 1,440 minutes makes a day. And you mean to say you cannot give yourself 15 minutes to do something? You cannot give yourself 15 minutes to write? We all have a right to write, whether it's in a journal or whether it's a story like I do, or whether you want to be the best cook in the world, but they tell you you cannot, or you want to be an artist and they say they don't make money, but you leave your mark though. It says you passed through this way once, and as you were passing, you left little bit of diamonds and pearls on the way so that others can see your inspiration, and just maybe they cling to it for a moment and say, I can do that. And they believe that they have Michael Jordan level talent. So remember, you are valuable. You have value. Treat yourself first. Make sure you're strong so that when they pull on you, you can still stand up on your own. Because if you let it go, they will drain the very essence out of you. And then what are you but the shell of who you really are? Have a great day. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad I was able to read this thing from this young man to you guys, and this thing this lady said. And Nancy, I will read yours again one day. So great, everybody, and thank you. Let me see all of you that are here with me. Kimberly, Nancy, Stacy, Rita, Ellen, Angelina, Yuko, Lisa, Colleen, Jillian, Dawn, Kathleen, and Lorna. Thank you, wonderful humans. I do appreciate you, and I'm happy and grateful for you. Who knows what Monday will bring? So, what a sharp blazer. I know, this thing is so old. Thank you. It's from Chico. I can't even remember when I bought it, but look at the end. See the thing? It's really cool. So you can wear it with black or pink. Sometimes I just put it on. It's just, and it can button all the way up with big hooks. So it's really all the way. It's really a beautiful thing. So there you go. Nice. Thanks, Angelina. See? So if you have this, okay, look at this, right? So that is my brain going to work again. So you have this blazer, and it has peepholes because of where the hooks are. I think there's one here too. So what you can do with this is, let's say you look at the colors down there. So somebody is crazy. They'll say, well, we're black, of course, because there is more black. But why should you put more of what is already there? So when I used to design, I would use yellow. So this little bit of yellow, so a sun yellow top would be stunning, because all you would see is a line of yellow going there. Of course, you could choose the purple or even white. So you can have fun when you have something like that. Doesn't always have to matchy, because it's to bring out the color that is not seen, or bring out the talent that you have that nobody knows. So come on, let's do this. So see you guys. Have a great weekend. Let me see. Beautiful story, beautiful message from the young man, an amazing and beautiful morning blessing. Thank you, Arita. Yeah, I know that brought tears to my eye, because you could see he was hurting, but he's already thinking. So in all I do, somebody that doesn't come to the morning blessing, we touch one person. So at least I'm following the advice of Nelson Mandela, each one, teach one. Because he got something to make him think. And now he knows he wants to teach his daughter to be independent. And he doesn't want to follow the footsteps of his father of always leading and not taking time to enjoy the moment. So you guys see why it's important to find your little corner, my pergola, the front porch in the corner where the neighbors can't see me so they don't make me talk. And so find your niche. Carve time for your niche. It's important to make time. Mine is 3 p.m. I will not answer the phone. It's in there. I do not make appointments for 3 p.m. because I must honor that thing inside of me. Have a great day. I love you, and I could keep talking forever, and I know you want to go home. So good night. Good. It seems like night, eh? Goodbye, everybody, and talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye-bye.